Thank you for tuning in 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Last year when Hurricane Irma, when was Irma? When was that? September?
I think so, yeah.
September. When Hurricane Irma came through, we were here at the station so that we could report and give people information as we had it. And I went outside and I took my phone and I did the live Facebook thing. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you did. It was great.
I don't ever have anything viral on my thing. Nothing I ever do is viral. But that one was unbelievable. All I did was aim the camera at the palm trees with the wind and the rain, and I'm telling you, I had hundreds. And that's viral to me. I know viral normally means like a million gazillion, but for me, when I see hundreds of people looking at my videos, like, holy cow, what the heck did I do differently?
Yeah, right.
I guess I shouldn't be telling jokes. Just aiming the camera at wind. Anne-Marie Buerkle is on the phone. I probably mispronounced Anne-Marie's name. She's the chairwoman and commissioner of the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, telling us ways that we can prepare for the storm, what to do before, and what we can do after. Good morning, Anne-Marie.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from New York, but our office is in Bethesda, Maryland. We work closely with Washington and the regulators there.
Is that right? In Hurricane Matthew was October of 2016. I was in New York, and Robin was here. And all I was doing all day long was watching that TV, that Weather Channel. That's all I could do. Just keeping up with it, right?
That's
exactly.
Right. Well, last year was so active, and they're predicting this year is going to be the same.
So, what kind of first of all, do you have a website that gives a lot of the information for the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
We do. It's cpsc.gov. cpsc.gov.
Okay.
And then there is an educational page, and the consumers and people can just go to that website and get a lot of good information.
Yeah, and I think that kind of information is really important. Pam Bondi is what is she?
Attorney General.
Attorney General in the state of Florida, and she has already issued warnings. Today begins the tax-free holiday, by the way, for hurricane supplies, just so everybody knows. But she has posted warnings on the internet, et cetera, to report price gouging if we have a storm coming through. Don't let anybody try to charge you more than something is worth.
Well, that's exactly what the AG's office does, and price gouging can be a problem during this time. And we're doing the same thing. We're about proactively trying to educate the consumer about thinking about these hurricanes that may happen and how can you keep your family safe and being prepared for them.
You talk about carbon monoxide alarms.
We do. So when power goes out, many people use portable generators, and portable generators emit carbon monoxide. So number one, you've got to keep that portable generator outside, at least 20 feet away from your home. Not your garage, not your porch, not your crawl space, outside. And then to keep carbon monoxide detectors in your home, because that is a colorless, odorless gas that can kill quickly. So we make sure your smoke detectors as well as your carbon monoxide detectors have good batteries in them and they are functioning well.
That is really good advice. And as far as product safety, are there recommendations on the site for, I don't know, like one brand over another? Like if we're going to buy a generator, do you give some kind of rating or something on things like that?
We do not, but what we do is we talk about safety standards in general, and most manufacturers really do a good job in complying with the safety standards that exist. Mostly what we want to do today is encourage the consumers and the American people to be prepared. And Florida knows better than anyone the devastation that can arise from a hurricane.
I think I heard this morning that 12 hours has been added to the amount of time that they've extended it. So instead of giving us warning 36 hours in advance or whatever, it's now 48 hours. And I don't know why that changed, and I don't know what it means exactly. Can you help me with that?
I don't know if that was from NASA or whoever, the weather people who come up with those kinds of findings. Whatever the time frame is, it's so much easier and more effective to prepare before that event occurs. Right now, while there's a calm, you have those discussions with your family.
And now, when consumers are preparing, what are some of the staple items that they should have?
Well, obviously, water is very important. We encourage, many times, folks will use candles, which create another set of hazards. Make sure you have flashlights and batteries that work in those flashlights. Again, make sure you've got a functioning portable generator and your smoke detectors and your carbon monoxide detectors are working. And not to take anything for granted, that these, as you well know in Florida, these hurricanes can be extremely violent, and loss of life is not uncommon. So the more prepared the consumer can be, the better, and the safer they will be in their families as well.
Do you know, we get the phone calls probably the same as you do when there's a hurricane, and I've had people just point blank ask me, should I leave? Do I need to get out of town? The problem with getting out of town is that if everybody's doing that, the interstate becomes really clogged up, and that's probably one of the only ways to get out of the state. However, I know some people do this. Is there any information or advice for people who leave their house empty? Should they board it up, or should they just not worry about that? What should be done?
Well, obviously, to take the ordinary precautions if you're leaving your home. Unfortunately, again, that's why preparing is so important. I'm sure in Florida, many homes have shutters, get them shuttered up.
Yeah.
But that's mostly, all of that information is mostly your local authorities that deal with that, because they know Florida, they know the cities and towns in Florida, and they can best advise the residents of the state.
There's an increase in the risk of fire also. If people have fireplaces, is that a good idea to build fires in there to use for cooking and things like that? Heating water?
What we see are people bring in to their home, like a camping heater or a camping, which is not good, or they'll bring in a charcoal grill, because both of those devices emit carbon monoxide as well. And so you run into the same situation as with a portable generator in the home. It can kill because of the carbon monoxide emissions. So all of those devices should be left outside.
Since you've had extensive work with the veterans, does the VA hospitals around our area, do they take extra precautions and open up their doors to veterans?
I can't speak directly to the veterans, but as we all know, most of the time colleges, institutions, schools, they open up their facilities, high schools as shelters and places for residents to go. And many areas have been designated hurricane-proof, and they're really safe places to go.
Robin does a really good job keeping our Facebook page filled with information. And what I just noticed is that on your website, cpsc.gov, you, Anne Marie, you've done a video. So I'm going to put that video on our Facebook page right now.
Nice.
So people can see the information. It's like a 2-minute video. Is that giving the thumbnail sketch of what we need to know?
Exactly right. It's just what we talked about, only a little bit more in depth, touches upon all the hazards that a consumer can encounter during a hurricane.
All right. So for those listening, if you want to see that, you can go to the WOCA Facebook page, but also go to the CPSC website, which is easy, cpsc.gov. It stands for Consumer Product Safety Commission. Anne Marie, first of all, I apologize for saying your last name wrong. How do you say your last name?
My last name is Buerkle, but I'm just so glad you had me on. It doesn't matter.
Easy enough. Well, thank you, Anne Marie. Thank you for being on with us. This is information that we it's a beautiful day right now, and we think, oh, come on, nothing's ever going to happen. But Robin and I have lived through a few of them. Especially 2004 was probably the scariest year for both of us.
Yeah, it was.
And I know it seems like a long time ago, but that means it's kind of like a slot machine. It's going to happen if it hasn't happened in a while. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but Anne Marie, thank you for being on the air with us today.
And thank you for having me, and stay safe, Florida.
Hey, thank you. All right, we will take a little break.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
You are ready to buy that house that fits your needs, but how do you find it? Easy. Call Angie at 352-361-8359. Angie gets with you to get that information you need to buy that house. Angie is more than just an agent with Roberts Real Estate. She's a pro with heart. So you call her at 352-361-8359.